1370 WOCA.
WOCA.
Right. 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. It is July 14th, 2014. The time is important. The date is important because the date will tell you whether it's a live show or not. So it's July 14th, 2014. U.S. Representative Richard Nugent is on the phone, ready to field your questions about anything going on up in Washington, D.C. that you want to discuss with Congressman Nugent. If you would like to get on the air, I would advise you call now. For those of you familiar with what we do, there's usually a straight through from now till top of the hour. We are changing that because we're grooming ourselves to be syndicated. So in about 9 minutes from now, we'll take a little break. But if you are on the phone during the break, we will get back to you when we come out of that break. All right, so right now, the number, if you want to call Congressman Nugent, 622-9622. Again, today's July 14th. And good morning, Rich. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. Where are you, in D.C. or are you down here?
Oh, I'm just getting ready to leave for D.C.
Man, do you fly coach? How do you get there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what we book as coach. Sometimes we get upgraded just because of the amount that I fly, but that is we try we book just coach. So.
Yeah. So
you never know.
What's big on the plate today? What are you doing?
Well, we're going back. We got of the 12 appropriation bills that Congress is supposed to pass every year, we've passed 6 so far this year. And we're on track to get them all done before we break for August. And so the goal is to get all of our appropriation bills done. Now, the Senate hasn't, even passed one yet, so go figure.
Oh, wow. So the Congress...
We're on track to set a record again to do nothing, so...
Oh, no. So Congress is working with the president, in spite of what the press makes it out to be?
Well, I mean... the president just sent a request for $3.7 billion for down on the border area, and and he just expects us to say, hey, no problem, pass it. But we have Democrats that are complaining too that there's really no accountability in that, and we want to see what the specifics are. It's a humanitarian crisis that is of the making that this administration helped make, and we're hearing that from Democrats who are absolutely frustrated. That particularly those that represent the border states, you're hearing from them more frequently about the fact that the president's kind of just turned a blind eye in regards to enforcing the immigration laws that we currently have on the books, and that's unfortunate. So. We're gonna work the best we can. It's in committee to look at what the president's request, what it actually means, and then how do we know that it actually gets spent where it's supposed to get spent?
There was a news release issued that indicated the breakdown of what that $3.7 billion would pay for, and I thought the same thing as I read through it. How do we know it? And Rick Perry says it's not going to cost that much. A couple of others say it's not going to cost that much. The one thing I want to ask you, though, is when people say it's the law, wasn't there a law passed, or maybe the word law is not correct, but during George Bush's term that said children have to be treated differently than adults?
No. What it did is it absolutely separated those that were not from Mexico or from Canada. That said that those children, if they come across, would be immediately deported back to their country of origin. There was an exemption put in there, not an exemption, but a change as related to those that were being trafficked from non-contiguous states, non-contiguous countries. So that would be anything that's not contiguous with the United States. So. And the president initially had indicated that he wanted Congress to act on that and give some relief to that area. And in reality, what happened was we started to work on that, and the president, backtracked on that particular issue because he was getting a lot of grief from those that just think that anybody who shows up at our borders should automatically be admitted, whether or not they come here legally or not. and we're still going to do that. We're still going to actually look at that law to give the administration the authority to send them back post haste. Because we're spending, part of this is we're spending, billions of dollars to house and feed these children. But what they don't tell you is that after they get released to HHS after 3 days of being in custody of ICE, they get released to Health and Human Services. They put them in temporary detention for about 15 to 20 days, and after that they get released into the fabric of this country. Probably never to be seen again. They're given a court date like most illegals are, and 90% of those never show up for court, because once they get out into the population, we don't have the ability, ICE doesn't seem to have the ability to track them down and bring them back. So this is the mess that we've gotten ourselves into in regards to what's going on at the border. And it's, you hear the president talk about, well, all we had to do was pass the Senate immigration law. Well, that didn't affect this issue at all. So, it's like comparing apples to oranges. Let's talk about what the issue is, and, what people down in these countries truly believe is that, from the president's past actions, that, anybody that makes it across the border, they're going to be given amnesty. And that's kind of where the president's been on this issue.
Congressman Rich Nugent is on the phone and available for your questions. The date is July 14th, if you want to call right now, 622-9622. You do have somebody waiting on hold, and I just want to repoint out that in about 3 minutes or so we'll be taking a break, but if you're talking, I will just kind of interrupt and ask you to hold on, and we'll be back if your question hasn't been addressed completely. Good morning. Thank you for being patient with us. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Congressman Nugent. With all due respect, I don't understand, and many of us don't understand, why the word children keeps getting used. The children. Most of these, it appears through the pictures and reports, are not children. And what is going to have to be done to completely stop the invasion that's going on in this country, the diseases, the scabies, all of the illnesses, the leprosy, the bacteria, the viruses, the bugs. What about the ads that are being put out for thousands of dollars for people who take these individuals in? I'm not going to use the word children. And how did these children get to where they were and from where they came from? How does a child make their way from Ecuador or Honduras, travel through Mexico, come up through Mexico? The pictures are showing gang members covered with tattoos. So please.
Are you there? Congressman, are you there?
To know when, who we voted for are going to stand up and save this country. Okay? So I'd like you to respond. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the call.
Well, and one of the reasons they say children, and that's just part of the problem, is that, this year we're on track to 52,000 children, and in the past, years, just a couple of years ago, it was about 1,000 children. So that is part of the issue. But the other thing that you see, if you watch the news, you see, mothers and their babies coming across the border. And how do they get here? Well, I'll tell you, there's a huge market in Mexico, as it relates, they call them coyotes, whatever you want to call them, that do human trafficking, that, make a ton of money. These parents will pay, up to $1,000 to get their child to be basically escorted from wherever their home country is once they get into Mexico across, to the U.S. border.
Wow.
Because, my big thing is we need to have the National Guard called up. Now, Texas have some National Guard members up, but we need to have more National Guard members authorized.
Rich, we need to take a break right now, and we'll be back. If you have a question for Congressman Nugent, call right now. You'll be on hold for about 2.5 minutes. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sun today with a thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon hours over the interior, the high 88 to 92. And partly cloudy tonight, low 71 to 75. Clouds and some sunshine tomorrow with a thunderstorm around in the afternoon and evening, high 86 to 90. For Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sun with a couple of showers and thunderstorms around in the afternoon, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Times of clouds and sun today with a thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon hours over the interior, the high 88 to 92. And partly cloudy tonight, low 71 to 75. Clouds and some sunshine tomorrow with a thunderstorm around in the afternoon and evening, high 86 to 90. For Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sun with a couple of showers and thunderstorms around in the afternoon, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Let's return now to U.S. Representative Richard Nugent on the phone answering your questions. And if you do have a question for Congressman Nugent, give us a call at 622-WOCA, and you'll be up after this first call. We have somebody waiting since the break. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Congressman Nugent.
Good morning, Congressman. This is Sonny calling. And I believe that the Democrat Party has been hijacked totally, and the Republican Party is well on its way. There is no other way to explain it other than the fact that you guys up there in Washington just seem to do one anti-American thing after another. And we've known about this deal with the our Texas or Mexican border since January, when the administration put a job feeler out for people that could had experience with children and could transport them. In other words, they knew we were going to get invaded. Somebody orchestrated this. How would would people in Nicaragua or Guatemala know to send their kids north? And I am sorry, but we have to take our country back, i.e. The fact that the Ukraine went squirrely with Russia, and all of Europe, the European Union's going, gee, what's America going to do about it? I think it's time we put America first, and I have no use for anybody that can't do that. And whatever the political affiliation is, so be it. I'll hang up and listen to your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think, the frustration at Sonny is just expressed is across the board. If you look at what's going on in the United States, if you look what's going on in Chicago, the number of children have been killed up there, the number of people that were killed in the areas of Chicago. If you look down at the border, you have African Americans now starting to stand up and say, "Hey, hold on a second. What about us? What about here in the United States? How about we start?" And Sonny hit on this. How about we start taking care of the people here, and let's work to try to resolve the issues that we have within our own borders, instead of just spending another $3.7 billion on an issue that could be really, I think, eliminated very quickly. And I don't believe in coincidences. And Sonny talks about what the administration was putting forward back in January. I just don't believe in coincidences. I truly believe that this was, unless we're absolutely in the dark on everything, I can't believe that we didn't see the handwriting on the wall.
I know. It is kind of weird, and it does look like that. And I think the use of the word children is very manipulative because it's what I respond to.
Well, of course it is. Listen, everybody has, and believe it or not, Republicans have a heart, and Republicans, feel for children in particular. And we don't want to do anything. We don't want to treat them inhumanely. But on the other hand, we can't allow just everybody to come flooding across our borders, because what do we do? How do we pay for that? Where do they get the jobs? And a lot of these children, quote unquote, and the first caller mentioned it, is they're gang members, they're gang affiliated. Listen, if you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, and you're coming from a country that's gang infested, particularly with MS-13 types, that is the most aggressive of all the street gangs. When you have those types coming across the border, they're not children at that point. These kids have been brought up in a culture of thievery, of culture of murder, of rape, of all those types of things, and we're going to now infuse them into the American culture. It's just ludicrous. And I can understand the frustration, because we just had my sons-in-laws from Arizona. We were just with them over the 4th of July, and they're Democrats, I will tell you, but they are absolutely just, I don't know how to put it. They're so fed up with the president and his policies, particularly as it relates to immigration, illegal immigration. They're looking at it. They're in the Phoenix area. And Arizona is one of those states that is just being inundated with these illegals. And nobody wants to say illegal, but they're illegal. They came here illegally.
Yeah, right.
And trust me, if I'm living in Chicago or I'm living in Arizona, and we're having all kinds of violence, and the federal government wants to spend $3.7 billion on illegals coming across the border to house them and feed them and take care of them and provide them medical care and all this other stuff, they're saying, hold on a second, how about taking care, let's worry about those that are currently living here legally and that, are looking to get a job. How about, Mr. President, you actually lead, and instead of being, and there was an unbelievable graphic put up, CBS White House correspondent put up, where it showed this president as compared to George W. Bush in regards to, they call him fundraiser in chief. This president has had 393 fundraisers he's attended versus Bush in his time of 216. And I guess that's why those that are in Democrats, you heard Democratic congressmen down in Texas just lamenting the fact that the president couldn't even take time out of his busy schedule of playing pool and drinking beer and fundraising to come down and actually, say, hey,
Congressman, you there?
bring in more National Guard troops to assist those that are currently on station.
Congressman, I don't know if you faded in. There you are. Okay, Congressman, we do have another caller calling in, and you faded for a little bit there, so I hope it didn't seem like I was being rude. Good morning. You're on the air with Congressman Nugent.
Yes. How y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Good morning.
Good. Congressman, I kind of agree half what Sonny said. charity do begins at home. But, I was thinking, this has been going on like long time ago, and we didn't solve the problem then. We aren't going to solve it now. And I was thinking, when I hear all the time say, well, the people's coming across and taking our jobs, and in my mind, it's like, what jobs are they taking? Is it construction jobs? Is it jobs working in the fields? Because if I can remember that you couldn't get nobody to do them jobs, young people alike in America, those type of jobs that the people are working. And the employees, it's beneficial to them because it's cheaper labor, and they ain't going to say, well, send them all back because we can pay them less and they get the job done. And I hear people say we want to take our country back. Take it back from whom?
Okay. Congressman?
Well, when you start talking about jobs and illegal immigrants coming in and taking jobs, part of the problem is that, the dollars that are earned don't stay here in this country, aren't plowed back into, goods and services. It's sent back home. And the reason Mexico doesn't want to close that porous border is because billions of dollars are sent back home to Mexico that's infused into their economy. It's not infused into the American economy. And in the end of the day, construction jobs pay well. There's a bunch of folks that want jobs. But if you just, cede and say, listen, nobody's going to work, in agriculture, nobody's going to work in construction, what's the next set of jobs are you willing to cede to those that are coming across the board illegally? And I think the key to this whole thing is they're not coming across the border legally. They're not doing it like other immigrants that have come to this country have done it legally. And so, if you want to just say, hey, listen, let as many come across the border as we want, and it's not going to impact other jobs, let me tell you something. That's a false narrative. If you truly believe that, I think that, this country is in trouble as it relates to all jobs within the country.
And I could just tell you, just here in Ocala, at the marketplace of Heathbrook, when they were building that, a lot of the local construction workers were complaining that they couldn't get the jobs there, but they knew for a fact that illegal immigrants were working there. And I believe that they were working for less than minimum wage.
Probably were, because they're not going to complain. They're not going to complain because of their legal status. The end of the day is that, it's got to be jointly between, those that are, whether they're employers or whatever, they have to follow the law. My estimation is that, they absolutely have to, follow the law and put in place those regulations that require those to go through, some kind of screening to show that they're legal or not. And if they're not, then they shouldn't be allowed to stay here. Or they certainly shouldn't be allowed the ability to have a job and then, for an employer to employ them. So, the employers have got to get on the stick, and that's part of, when you start talking about actual immigration reform, that's part of what you have to do, is talk about, what's the motivator. But until you can get the Mexicans on board with, stemming the flow of illegals coming across their border, and there's no reason for them to do that. Because it's a financial, plus for them, even though we're giving them, hundreds of millions of dollars in aid, probably $1 billion or more in aid. We're not pushing that, and I think that we have some leverage on that whole issue. And I know we're fighting for drugs, but here we are. We have a Marine being held in custody. And, it seems like we're not doing a whole lot.
Yeah, that is a terrible story, that Marine. Congressman, thank you for doing this every 2 weeks. Like I've said many times, you're the only elected official that regularly allows listeners to participate in a dialogue with you.
I love the back and forth, and I do like to hear other folks' impressions and ideas.
Yeah, and well, have a safe flight. I know you're heading back up to D.C. And thank you for doing this and for what you do for all of us.
No problem. Anytime. We appreciate it. Thank you now.
All right. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. As the conflict continues in Gaza, the militant group Hamas is employing a new weapon.
Hamas says it has added drones to the arsenal of weapons it's using against Israel. The Israeli military says it shot one of them down today near the city of Ashdod along the southern coastline. This is the first time Hamas has acknowledged it has drones. The militant group says it will use them for intelligence gathering and as weapons.
Fox Radio's Kimberly Adams in Egypt. Crews in Oregon trying to determine how many structures have been destroyed by a fast-moving wildfire near Sprague River. The fire scorched more than 4 square miles. A smell prompting the evacuation of 100 homes in Skip-Pack Township near Philadelphia has been linked to an organic substance in the sump pumps of several homes.
They told us to open all our windows and we had to evacuate and stay outside until further notice.
Safety officials still trying to identify the specific compound. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
On March 3rd last year, Henry W. faced his own death with incredible courage. He wasn't in an accident. He wasn't ill. He wasn't in any danger. But he faced this reality head on. If he died, his wife and children wouldn't be able to pay the mortgage, make the car payments, or keep up the life they'd had. His family would lose everything. So he picked up the phone and called AIG Direct. He found out that through AIG Direct, he could get a $250,000 life insurance policy for less than $14 a month. Now, he knows that he's helped make his family's future secure, no matter what happens to him.
Protecting your family with coverage through AIG Direct is fast, easy, and incredibly affordable. Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now. 1-800-322-1099. That's 1-800-322-1099. 1-800-322-1099.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. USDA's Farm Service Agency reminds ag producers that July 15th is the deadline to file an acreage report for spring seeded crops. Planted acres must be reported to FSA by that date, according to the Agricultural Act of 2014. It requires you to submit an annual acreage report on all cropland that is on the farm. Kelly Manufacturing Company in Tifton would like to caution peanut growers as they prepare equipment for harvest that in order for their equipment to perform at peak capacity, genuine quality parts should be used for repairs. There are parts available to make repairs that may not fit properly and could result in peanut losses during harvest. That coming from KMC.
Say so long to sleepless nights and stressful peanut seasons. Say so long to hoping your treatment is enough to control white mold. Say so long to guessing, wishing, and waiting. In 2015, you can bid all of these things farewell. Research shows that with the latest from Syngenta, white mold will be managed better than ever before because of a new active ingredient. Coming soon. Contact your Syngenta agronomist to find out more about the potential for your peanuts in 2015. Elatus is not yet registered for sale or use in the United States and is not being offered for sale.
The Peanut Institute reminds our growers that peanuts just keep coming up with good things. Peanuts are among the list of foods now certified by the American Heart Association's Heart Check Food Certification Program. American Heart Association's research shows that nuts may reduce the risk of heart disease in individuals with high cholesterol. The new American Heart Association Cardiac Prevention Guidelines recommend eating peanuts and nuts. Consume a diet that emphasizes intake of vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, including low-fat dairy products, poultry, fish, legumes, non-tropical vegetable oils, and nuts. And the Peanut Institute is proud that they've got that honor for peanut farmers across the Southeast. I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
Now is the time to go to your Kubota dealer and get a brand new Kubota M-Series tractor during Kubota's Gear Up and Go sales event. If you're thinking about a rugged utility tractor and the year-round comfort of a Grand X-Cab, then a new Kubota has your name on it. With a smooth-running diesel engine and IntelliShift transmission, your Kubota dealer is the place to start. Right now, get your own Kubota M-Series tractor for 0 down and 0% financing for up to 60 months. So for a great deal, think orange at the Kubota Gear Up and Go sales event. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to KubotaDealersOfFlorida.com.
0 down, 0% APR financing for terms up to 60 months on selected equipment now through September 30th, 2014. Not available for rental national accounts or government customers. 0% APR low rate financing not available with instant rebate offers. Financing available through Kubota Credit Corporation USA subject to credit approval. Other exceptions may apply. For more information, call toll free 1-888-465-8268.
Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hospice of Marion County has an urgent need for volunteers to share a conversation with someone, run errands, hold someone's hand. All you need is a willingness to help others. Our volunteers believe the blessings they receive far exceed the services they offer. Will you consider serving, caring, and making a difference?